Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So we've had recent estimates of what the next Social Security increase is possibly going to be looking like in 2025. Well, most people on Social Security are actually quite disappointed with these numbers, but we're actually going to put things in perspective here. We're going to be going over three numbers which show that maybe it's not going to be all that bad after all. Plus, we have House and Senate Democrats really pushing for Joe Biden to drop out of the race. They want an alternative candidate in there. They don't believe that Biden can actually beat Trump, especially after his most recent debate performance. We'll be covering that as well. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm. And also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock or $200 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link, is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point in time, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. And if you'd rather just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive the free stock, is just sell it for what it's worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so after the most recent debate performance that Biden had against Trump, many Democrats were pretty underwhelmed with his performance, to say the least. Even the media, both on the left and the right, realized that Trump absolutely destroyed Biden in the debate. Biden did not look good at all. And because of that, we've actually had Democrats and the left-wing media really pushing for Biden to drop out of the race. They want anyone but Biden because they saw that after the debate, Trump soared even more in the polls. And they believe that because of this, Biden really doesn't stand much of a chance at winning. And over the past few days, we've had many House and Senate Democrats pushing for Biden to drop out of the race. And Biden recently had a rally in the state of Wisconsin where he let his thoughts known of whether or not he's actually going to be dropping out of the race. Watch.
Well, guess what? They're trying to push me out of the race. No! Well, let me say it as clearly as I can. I'm staying in the race. I'll beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020.
So as you notice there, Biden said that he beat Trump once and he's going to beat him again in 2020. Well, unless he has a time machine, more than likely he's not going to be able to go back to 2020 to beat Trump once again. But overall, he does seem insistent, at least right now in the moment, that he is absolutely going to be staying in the race, despite calls from the media, despite calls from House Democrats, despite calls from Senate Democrats. He wants to stay in the race, and unless I believe that maybe his wife and Joe Biden really, takes him aside and says, "Listen, Joe, you need to drop out of the race. It's the best thing for your health right now." I personally think that probably his wife and only his wife is going to be the person that's going to convince him to drop out of the race. And unless Jill wants him to drop out of the race, I personally don't think that he will. But leave your thoughts and comments below. Now, of course, according to NBC News, like I mentioned just a moment ago, congressional Democrats plan on meetings to discuss Biden's 2024 prospects. So some key House and Senate Democrats are planning meetings next week where they're expected to discuss the path forward for President Joe Biden. So House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries will convene a virtual meeting with Democratic Committee ranking members on Sunday, three sources told NBC News. The meeting is expected to focus on President Biden, one of the sources said, as he faces calls to step aside as the party's nominee. And then, of course, we have Senator Mark Warner, who is a Democrat in Virginia. He's also organizing a group of Democratic senators to meet next week to discuss what to do amid concerns about Biden's electability and the potential for a drag on down ballot races for the House and Senate. Four sources familiar with the outreach told NBC News on Friday. So, of course, that's another concern for a lot of Democrats. Like, if Trump wins against Biden, is that also going to affect the House and Senate races? Are more Republicans also going to beat more Democrats? And are Democrats also going to lose their Senate majority and give up even more seats in the House, where we have a Republican-controlled House, a Republican-controlled Senate, and then also Donald Trump in the White House? Has a lot of concern among Democrats as well. Now, as far as some alternatives to Biden right now, sources say that Kamala Harris, according to Reuters, is the top choice to replace Joe Biden if he does step aside. And other people who are being considered right now closely, according to sources, are Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, and Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania. What really makes Whitmer and Shapiro compelling to Democrats is that Whitmer is the governor of Michigan. That is a swing state where Trump leads by about 4 points right now. Democrats absolutely have to have Michigan. Republicans absolutely have to have Michigan. This is a very key state to win in 2024. And then we have Shapiro. He is the governor of Pennsylvania. This is also a swing state, which is a must-win for both Democrats and Republicans. So right now, if the governors they would obviously have a better chance probably than Biden. Whitmer would have a better chance to win the state of Michigan than Biden. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Is he going to drop out of the race? Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are. Now, in some other news, of course, we have millions of seniors receiving Social Security benefits, but they're quite disappointed with what is expected to be the next increase in 2025 for their cost of living adjustment. But we're going to be going over three numbers, three reasons why maybe 2.57% really isn't all that bad. This article here is from the Motley Fool. So the first number, of course, is 0%. So you may not like the sound of a 2.57% Social Security COLA, but how does a 0% COLA sound to you? Over the past 15 years, there have been 3 separate instances when Social Security recipients did not see their benefits go up at all from one year to the next, and 2 of those years were back to back. So hey, at least it's not 0% right. I guess that's one positive thing to take away. The second positive thing to take away is 0.3%. So in 2017, Social Security benefits got a measly 0.3% COLA due to minimal inflation. That 0.3% came after a year when there was no COLA at all, and the COLAs that preceded those 2 years were fairly stingy in their own right, coming in at under 2% for 3 years in a row. So at least it's higher than 0.3%, and at least it's higher than the under 2% that it came in after that. That's of course because there was very minimal inflation, which is actually what we want to see. We don't want to see these 8, 9, 10% COLAs, because that would also mean that inflation was also probably 10+%, because the COLAs aren't actually keeping up with inflation as they should be. And the final number, of course, is 2.75%. So this is the average Social Security COLA that beneficiaries have gotten over the past 10 years. It accounts for a 0% COLA a year, but it also accounts for 2023's whopping 8.7%. So as you can see there, it's pretty much right in line with the average of what you would normally expect, 2.6, 2.75%. It's going to come right in the neighborhood of that. So all in all, perhaps, maybe 2.6% really would not be that bad after all. And one of the key dates that we really have to look out for this month is going to be July 11th. That's when we're going to know the inflation data for the month of June. And then the following month in August is going to be the real important month, because that's going to be kicking off the first of 3 months data that we're going to compare to the same exact data of last year. So we're going to know the inflation numbers for July, August, and September. We're going to know all those numbers by the middle of October, and in the middle of October is when we're going to know exactly what the cost of living adjustment increase is going to be for all Social Security beneficiaries next year in 2025. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Let me know in the comment section below, would you be happy with a 2.6% cost of living adjustment increase next year in 2025? Or in your mind, would that be a disappointment to you? But that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.